This story happened a few years ago, but even now, thinking about that night gives me chills. I was 17 at the time and spent most weekends with my friends Robbie and Scott. We usually played video games or had sleepovers. During senior year, we made it a point to do something different every weekend. One night, we decided to go for a drive. I had a car and a license, and our parents trusted us to be responsible. The night started like always. Robbie and Scott came over, we ordered pizza, played some games, and talked about school. Around 11 p.m., we decided to go out for a late night drive, listen to music, and reminisce. Everything was fun at first, but slowly we ended up in a place where there were no street lights. It was around 1 a.m. and we were on a pitch-dark, deserted road. That's when we noticed an old red Honda Civic parked off the side. What was odd was that it wasn't parked normally, it had crashed into some bushes. The tail lights were faintly glowing. It looked like someone had lost control. Robbie suggested we check in case someone needed help. If someone was hurt, waiting for help could take time. We slowly got out of the car and approached the red Civic. Robbie shouted, "Hey, are you okay?" But no reply came. As we got closer, I noticed something in the back seat and froze. "Wait, there's something back there," I said. Robbie called out again, but still nothing. The only sound was our car engine in the background. When we reached the window, what we saw shook us. There wasn't a person, but a lifelike dummy sitting there. At first, we laughed, thinking it was a prank, but then we realized how strange the whole thing was. We shouted again but still got no answer. Then I noticed something in the dummy's hand. It was a VHS tape. Without thinking, I grabbed it and said nothing to the others. We called the police and told them about the car. But when they checked for license plates, there were none. The car had just been abandoned, with the dummy and the tape left behind. Later that night, I told Robbie and Scott I had taken the tape. They were a bit mad I hadn't mentioned it earlier. The tape had a white sticker with weird scribbles and bones drawn in black marker. It simply said, "Watch." We decided to play it on my old VCR. The screen was black for the first 5 seconds. Then suddenly, a man appeared. He had long hair, a beard, and wore a red flannel shirt. He sat at a table in what looked like a workshop and stared straight into the camera. For 2 minutes, he didn't say a word, just stared. It was terrifying. Then, he suddenly smiled and spoke in a chilling voice. "This tape is mine. I know you have it. I will take it back. And then, you will regret it." After that, there were only disturbing sounds, laughing, crying, and more staring. The tape ended with a black screen. We never gave the tape to the police. I kept it. It's still in my bookshelf to this day. I never watched it again or told anyone else about it. Maybe it was a prank. But back then, it was terrifying. And even now, whenever I see someone who looks like that man, I feel the same fear all over again. It was my second year of college, and I struggled to concentrate at home. No matter how quiet it was, the smallest noise would distract me. After some hard times, I often felt depressed. I tried a new way to study, by driving out to peaceful places. Just 20 minutes from home, I'd sit in my car and do my schoolwork. Nature gave me the calm I needed. As the end of senior year approached, I had a big exam coming up, worth 40% of my final grade. I needed at least 75 to pass. That weekend, I planned to go somewhere new for a change. I woke up early Saturday, skipped everything else, and by 10 a.m., I reached my destination. I spent hours hiking, and by 2 p.m., I found a great spot, on a hilltop with a forest view. There were rocks to sit on, and I took out my books and laptop. Everything felt perfect. But then, I heard something, twigs snapping. I figured it was a deer or a squirrel. I clapped my hands and made noise to scare it off, but nothing happened. When I looked into the woods, I swear I saw a glimpse of a person. Then the noise stopped. I tried to focus again, but something felt wrong. I couldn't shake the feeling. As I turned to leave, I saw him, about 30 feet away. A man, facing away from me. He was broad-shouldered, dressed in all black. The creepiest part was the mask on his face. I froze. He turned to me, and I still can't describe the fear I felt. His mask was monstrous, white with a long snout, jet black eyes, and mustard yellow hair hanging from it. He looked like something out of a nightmare. Then, he started humming. At first, I thought I imagined it, but it was real. A low, drawn-out hum like a moan. He began walking toward me, then faster, then running. I was trapped. The path behind me was narrow, and I could fall if I slipped. He charged straight at me, stopped inches away, and let out a twisted laugh. Then the humming again. I ran as fast as I could, didn't look back, and made it to my car. He wasn't chasing me anymore. I tried to call the police, but there was no signal. I kept driving until I reached a nearby town and filed a report. But since he hadn't touched me, nothing came of it. I still wonder who that was. A prankster? A madman? All I know is, that mask and that awful laugh are burned into my memory forever. For about a year and a half, I cared for a 94-year-old woman named Mary, who had Alzheimer's. She lived with her daughter in a house deep in the Washington woods. Mary had strange habits. She often talked to her long-dead mother and husband as if they were still there. I was used to this from working with dementia patients. But what stood out was her fear of the woods. "You don't know how dangerous these animals are," she'd say. "Stay inside, or you'll get lost." She also worried her mother and husband would have to travel through the woods again. I chalked it up to her illness and didn't take it seriously. Things were normal for about 6 months. Then one night, I saw Mary walking out into the hallway. It's common for Alzheimer's patients to wander, so I wasn't too alarmed. But she walked straight to a certain window and started laughing and talking to someone outside. When I asked who she was talking to, she said, "Mom, there's something strange out there." It was a freezing winter night, but in her mind, something else was happening. One night, an alarm woke us up. Mary was missing. Her daughter searched inside while I rushed out. There were no footprints in the snow, no sign she'd even left. After 10 to 15 minutes, I came back, and saw her standing by the window, laughing like nothing had happened. What was unsettling was that there were still no footprints around her. The incidents became more frequent. But now, she was angrier. She'd scream at the window, argue with someone we couldn't see. Then, days before she passed, she said, "I won't let them take me into those woods." Just like they couldn't before. She told me a story from when she was 7. Her father had taken her and her brother to a cabin deep in the forest for a week. Her room was closest to the woods, right beside a window. One night, around 2 a.m., she was reading comics by flashlight while her cat slept beside her. Suddenly, there was a knock on the window. She thought it was a tree branch. Then she heard a whisper. "It's cold. Just one hug." Mary froze. She knew it wasn't her father. Her cat hissed toward the window. She held it tight, hoping it would protect her. Then came the sound of a knife scraping across the window glass. She turned and saw a man outside, with a wild grin on his face. She screamed. Her father burst in with his rifle, but the man was gone. The next morning, they packed up and left. Police were called, but the man was never found. Mary never forgot that grin. And I never forgot the night I saw her smiling in the snow, without leaving any footprints.